So if we invest all of this for 3 months, and what you get at the end is uncertain because it was just a matter of another 3 months, quite frankly, between us, with a question like glucose metabolism, 3 additional months means nothing in terms of if you get much better results. I mean, later on the marketplace. So we're going for 6 months. And then after that, 6 weeks after stopping taking the product, we retest them again just to show that the result is not a daily benefit that the product is giving to people, but it's really a repair of the pancreas so that when you stop, the benefit stays over time. And then we're going for statistically, when you use in these studies, because again, we're doing these studies, I won't go into all the detail, but you have no idea the depth at which we're going to make that study extremely solid, because we need to go through all the EU board that will allow us to make this claim later on in the EU. And so one of the rules in good science is that you need to study the disease or the issue that you study, the parameters that you're going to quantify, the magnitude of difference that you expect to see. And based on all of this, biostatistician will tell you you need a minimum of that many people to get statistically significant data. So we need at least 100 people per group, so we're shooting for 200 people per group. Okay, so here are the parameters that we're going to quantify. Fasting glucose, glycosylated hemoglobin, glycated hemoglobin. Is it, do you all know what it is, or a bunch of you have no clue what that is? Okay. You know when you cook onions or you cook meat with sugar, it tastes really good. There's a process that is taking place. How do they call that? They call that
caramelization.
Caramelization, thank you. It's heat that creates a bonding between sugar and proteins. Well, in your blood, without heat, just body heat naturally, it still happens at a very, very, very low level. So if you have excess sugar in your blood, some sugar is going to bond in that way and is going to bond to the protein present in your red blood cells, which is hemoglobin. So by quantifying the amount of hemoglobin in your blood that has been glycosylated like this, tied to a glucose molecule, tied to sugar, it will give you, and because your red blood cells live about 3 months, so it will give you what has been the picture in your glucose level for the past 3 months. That is reflected right now by the percentage of your hemoglobin that is bound to sugar. In a healthy individual, it's less than 5.6. If you're above 5.6%, you've crossed that line to show that now you start to have elevated blood glucose. When you start to pass 6, now your doctor will start to really try to change your lifestyle. Once you've passed 8, you are diagnosed diabetic. So it's a very clear parameter, much more precise than your fasting glucose, because your fasting glucose is one data that morning, and it depends on a lot of things. So that data gives you really your 3 past month history. So when we do a study of 6 months, then it gives us enough room here to really show the benefit. C-peptide is an indirect measure of your insulin produced in your blood. Body weight, for 2 reasons. Because we also want to monitor, so blood pressure and various parameters. We want to monitor as well waist. We'll measure waist. We'll measure thigh circumference. We want to monitor also metabolic syndrome. Because it's really a growing condition here and in Europe as well. So we are getting these parameters. But it's also because if we take people that have I did all of this in French, all of these terms in French. Body mass index, right? Okay. Body mass index of more than 30, then believe it or not, but in the US now, and in Europe the same, it is called now to be obese. You're now diseased if you have a body mass index more than 30. If you have a body mass index more than 25, you're considered overweight. I am about 28, so I am overweight. It gives you a kind of a funny perspective, of how now weight is considered in this country, but it means that if you have somebody that has a body mass index above 30, now we're working with a diseased population, so our study is now invalidated to be able to apply the product for healthy people. So we need to be very careful, so we monitor body weight. We are going to include a quality of life questionnaire that we've developed over many years, and now it's completed. And it's because, yes, we're focusing on blood glucose, but you know very well how many people you know who have taken the product because of their glucose metabolism or whatever it is, their knee pain, and they say, yeah, but I sleep much better. But I'm not quantifying sleep, I'm just measuring function in the knee. I mean, we've seen that so many times. But all of those things all accumulate under quality of life. Yeah, my knee is still there, but I sleep much better, my quality of life is better. We can quantify these in a questionnaire that evaluates overall quality of life. So as we target all of these, if we can also come with a claim that says you take this product because it increases your overall quality of life through stem cell release, it's a nice claim as well.